Hi, this is Waking Up with Wisdom, and in today's video, we're going to delve into a story that highlights the incredible power of perspective and how a simple shift in mindset can transform a life of sorrow into one of joy. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the hills, there lived an elderly woman who was known far and wide for her constant tears. She was a loving mother of two daughters, both of whom were married and lived in the village. Her elder daughter had married an umbrella merchant, a hardworking man who crafted beautiful, sturdy umbrellas that the villagers relied on during the rainy season. Her younger daughter was the wife of a noodle vendor who made the most delicious noodles in town, drying them in the sun before selling them in the marketplace. Though both daughters were doing well in their respective trades, the old woman couldn't find peace. Her heart was burdened with worry, and she cried almost every day. When the sun was shining bright in the sky, she would sit by her window, tears streaming down her face, and think to herself, "My poor elder daughter. On such a sunny day, no one will buy her umbrellas. How will she and her husband manage? What if they lose their livelihood?" Her neighbors, who often saw her in this state, tried to console her, saying, "But on sunny days, people are happy, and there's no need to worry. Your daughter will sell plenty of umbrellas when the rains come." But the old woman couldn't be comforted. She would simply shake her head and continue to cry, her heart heavy with concern for her elder daughter. Then, when the skies turned gray and the rain began to fall, one would think the old woman would find some relief, knowing that her elder daughter's business would be thriving. But instead, the rain brought a new wave of tears. She would sit by the same window, looking out at the raindrops splashing against the ground, and think, "Oh, my poor younger daughter. How will she dry her noodles in this weather? No one will buy them if they're not dried properly. What will she do?" And so, whether the sun was shining or the rain was pouring, the old woman found herself trapped in a cycle of worry and sorrow. Her grief became so well known that the villagers began to refer to her as the crying lady. They spoke of her with a mix of sympathy and frustration, wishing they could help her see that her tears were unnecessary. One day, as the old woman was sitting by her window with fresh tears in her eyes, a monk happened to pass by. He was a wise and compassionate man who had traveled far and wide, sharing teachings of peace and enlightenment. Seeing the old woman in such distress, he stopped and approached her. "Why are you crying, dear lady?" the monk asked gently. His voice was calm and soothing, like a warm breeze on a cool day. The old woman looked up, surprised by the stranger's kind words. She wiped her tears and invited him inside, eager to unburden her heart to someone who might understand. As they sat together, she explained her worries about her two daughters, the elder one with the umbrellas that wouldn't sell on sunny days, and the younger one with the noodles that couldn't dry on rainy days. The monk listened intently, nodding as the old woman spoke. When she finished, he smiled kindly and said, "I see that you are a loving mother, deeply concerned for the well-being of your daughters. But I also see that your worries are clouding your perspective, making it difficult for you to see the blessings that each day brings." The old woman, intrigued by the monk's words, leaned in closer. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice tinged with curiosity. The monk pointed outside to the bright, sunny day. "When the sun shines brightly, it may be true that fewer people will buy umbrellas," he said. "But think of your younger daughter. On days like this, the sun is perfect for drying her noodles. She must be working hard, making plenty of noodles to sell in the market. Her business is likely flourishing on such a day." The old woman blinked, considering this new perspective. She had never thought of it that way before. The monk continued, "And when the rain falls, it may be true that your younger daughter cannot dry her noodles. But think of your elder daughter. On rainy days, people need umbrellas to stay dry. Her store must be bustling with customers, eager to buy her beautifully crafted umbrellas." As the old woman listened, a light began to dawn in her mind. She realized that while she had been focusing on the challenges each type of weather brought, she had overlooked the opportunities that came with them. She had been so consumed by her fears for her daughter's well-being that she had forgotten to appreciate the balance of life, the way that every situation, no matter how difficult, also carried within it the seeds of hope and success. With a newfound understanding, the old woman looked at the monk with gratitude. "I see now," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "The sun and the rain, they both have their purpose. Instead of worrying, I should be grateful for the blessings they bring to my daughters." The monk smiled warmly. "Yes," he said, "life is all about perspective. When we choose to see the positive side of things, our hearts can be at peace, and we can find joy even in the midst of challenges." From that day forward, the old woman began to change her way of thinking. On sunny days, she would smile and think of her younger daughter, busy drying noodles in the warm sun. On rainy days, she would feel content, knowing that her elder daughter's umbrella store was thriving. Her tears of sorrow turned into tears of joy, and soon the villagers no longer called her the crying lady. Instead, they began to refer to her as the smiling lady, for she had found a way to embrace the ups and downs of life with grace and positivity. This story teaches us that our happiness often depends not on the circumstances we face, but on how we choose to perceive them. Life is full of ups and downs, but if we focus on the positives and embrace each moment with a sense of gratitude, we can find peace and joy even in the most challenging times. By changing our perspective, we can transform our lives, just as the old woman did. This is Waking Up with Wisdom Stories. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.